So there I was, enjoying my flat earth obscurity. I've been flat since 2015 and that was a wonderful time, as it is for all flat earthers, and I began making content, and I made content regularly for 3 years on my channel, Hey Dude. And after 3 years I felt that I'd exorcised everything that I needed to. I was happy with all the content I'd made, and I just retired into flat earth obscurity, content that I was living on a fixed firm flat earth with God's magnificent firmament above us. Then 6 years later, in 2024, TFE reared its ugly head, and I found myself getting involved again. I emailed Will after he put out a call to any flat earthers who had anything they felt they could contribute. So I emailed Will and I told him that I've got a surefire way of being able to put a protocol in place that would ensure that any live transmissions from the ice would be live, that he would call me from the ice at a specified time. But Will went live, he didn't call me, and that's when I found myself back in the war. It's no exaggeration to say that my comment section set alight. It's as if the most vitriolic ball earthers descended on my comment section, and I was being accused of so many different things, you know, lying, psychopath, living in dreamland. So what if Will didn't call you? You know, all this sort of stuff was just suddenly flooding my inbox. But I hadn't yet climbed into the cockpit. That was soon to come. So the TFE crew returned from the ice, and I once again was in front of Will in a post-return live. And in this live, I pointed out Jeren had told us all that the sun sets. And that's when the comment section turned from incendiary to all-out dynamite. And if anyone watched that live interview with me, as soon as I said that Jeren had said that the sun sets, suddenly the room turned from just me and Will to all 6 of the major players being in there. There was Jeren, Whitsit, Dave McKeegan, McToon, Critical Think, and Will Duffy, all there in front of me. And to be honest with you guys, it was pretty overwhelming, I can tell you. I was feeling the heat, but again, I still hadn't quite climbed into the cockpit. That all that all took a turn when Craig from Fight the Flat Earth invited me onto his show to give an account and to put my side of the story. So I went on to Craig's show. He gave me a right grilling. I'd like to think that I stood my ground, but I came away from there, and it was after Craig that I literally climbed into the flat earth, ball earth cockpit. And Craig, I know you'll be watching this, and no ill feelings, mate. It's all banter, isn't it, in the ball earth, flat earth war. So I made my video and uploaded it, which was the epic fail that is TFE, which was really a summary of my experience. And I won't go into detail now, it's all up online and you can see it. But basically it laid out very clearly that I believe that Jeren had said the sun sets. A lot of flat earthers, in fact all flat earthers, knew that that was the case as well. And of course it was going to be vitriolically defended, because if it was acknowledged that Jeren had told us all that the sun sets, then that would be a PR disaster for a TFE. And so Craig from FTFE, he did a special on my video, as did a few other ball earthers, and Craig very kindly delivered his assessment of my video. And it's important that we consider what is a biblical cosmologist and what goes through the mind of a biblical cosmologist.
Not much. They're usually dumb as fuck.
So this next 3/4 of an hour is an old man rambling through the woods, interspersed with some video clips and some imagery that is designed to have the viewer thinking about things in a slightly more deeper way.
Well, that sounds fucking boring. I really hope it's not just that. Understanding the mind of a biblical cosmologist. Why do we think the way we think? Well, some say lead poisoning. Some say brain damage from not enough oxygen during birth. Some say fecal alcohol syndrome. Some say their mothers use their soft spot as ashtrays. We're not entirely sure. Science is trying to figure this out.
And I too was having fun with Craig.
Unlike you, Steve, who displays all the properties of a psychopath, I have emotions on display.
Okay. Well, then you need to keep your emotions in check.
Did he say that Steve blocked him? Yes. Was that possibly wrong? Yes. He was in Antarctica. There could have been issues with signals. After 5, we'll breathe out. Ready? Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Breathe out.
So there I was up in the skies, back and forth. And truth be told, guys, I was enjoying the dogfight. It was allowing me to be creative in my content and just allowing me to vent. But it all changed quite soon after that, and that was when I issued a financial challenge. I put out £1,000 offer to anybody who could prove through software that Jeren had said since and not sets, because that was Will Duffy's defence of Jeren's slip up on the ice. He said, I'm sure that Jeren said since. And in doing that, I hadn't really realised that my judgment had become clouded. I was up there in the skies and rat-a-tatting away, and I just lost focus, and yeah, I have myself to blame. So I put out the offer of the £1,000 challenge, and of course, to my delight, my stupid delight in retrospect, Craig immediately answered. And the whole idea of this video was I was going to do a second video, which I did, which was to highlight what I thought to be the intellectual dishonesty of the Ball Earth crew, who were denying that Jeren had said sets and desperately hanging on to the fact that he said since. So in my second video, I said, well, the first video said £1,000, but I didn't say pounds, I said peanuts. 1,000 peanuts for anyone who can identify that Jeren said since. And it was at that point that it all went downhill from there, really. It started to get personal, and a lot of things were starting to be discussed online about our family dynamic, which, if anybody knows our family, so much of what was being spoken about was just untrue. But that's what happens in war. It just became a right old mess. I'd made a gaffe, I'd made a mistake, and so I contacted Craig and I said, look, Craig, I'm going to pay up. God doesn't need us to defend his fixed firm flat earth, and least of all with my silly worldly tricks, which are I just dropped down into, and in the fog of war I cocked up. And so yeah, so basically, guys, I just want to apologise for that to my subscribers and to those who watch my videos. It was foolish, and not that I would want to at all turn this into a teaching moment, because this is about me and my stupidity and, you know, dropping down into silly tactics. But if this resonates with anybody, then great. It's about maintaining focus, and it's about not getting drawn into silly spats, and I regretted it. So I paid up, I paid my dues. I'd like to thank DP Debunks too for his gracious way that he dealt with me by email. You know, I've learnt from my mistake, and integrity is everything, and so I need to put it right. So yeah, just once again, apologies to my Flat Earth subscribers, apologies to any viewers, and I won't be being so rash in the future. And what really spoke to me was when I received an email from a subscriber who's a Christian, and he said, Steve, I've unsubscribed from your channel because that's not how God works. And that just really cut me. And so if you're watching, my friend, and you're seeing this apology, I hope you reconsider and that you'll resubscribe, because you're absolutely right. God wants us to be transparent. He doesn't want us to be tricky. And the lesson it's taught me, guys, actually, as we've seen in this video, at the beginning of this video, where I've been asking questions of TFE, not actually being quite so militant about it all, just ask them questions which we have every right to be given answers. So once again, a flurfer has paid out, thus overturning McToon's second law of the flurfs, whatever it is, that flurfers don't pay out. You know, integrity is what matters, and of course I paid out, and I hope that that's put it all to bed, because I couldn't go forward without putting it right, because I've got a four-parter on God's Flat Earth coming out, which I've spent a year putting together, and I want God to bless it, and I want people to be blessed by it. And so if there's anything in the way that would interrupt that blessing, I can't have that, and God doesn't want it. So apologies, guys, it won't happen again. And Craig, if you're watching, I'm sure there'll be times when we can have banter again, yeah, but let's hope that it doesn't get personal like it did before. So anyway, back to the video in hand, guys. So let's now turn our attention to the first question that we're posing to the final experiment team, and that is that when you went out there, your exploits were reported worldwide in the media. I think there were some 350 worldwide newspaper outlets that reported on you guys being out on the ice and capturing the 24-hour sun, allegedly. And Jeran's infamous line, sometimes in life you are wrong. And so he was reported all over the world as changing his mind, coming over from the flat side to becoming a ball earther. And regardless of what we think about that, it's undeniable that TFE received worldwide attention. And so the question is, contrasting that worldwide attention, why is it that not a single international Antarctica site references TFE, the final experiment, anywhere in their news and social media? Let's begin by looking at British Antarctic Survey. We scroll down to their social media and press and latest news area on their website, and we scroll down to December, and we see on the 13th of December, British Antarctic Survey reports that the world's biggest iceberg has just broken free. And there's a report on that, and then there's nothing until the 19th of December, where we see there's a report on diminishing ice in Antarctica. Nothing at all on TFE. Next we go to the New Zealand Antarctica Programme site, and we go through to the same media pages, and we go to the 6th, where we see there's a report on Antarctica sponges, glass sponges, and it leaps on forward to the 19th, where there's a report on leaking methane gas under the ice in Antarctica. Nothing at all on TFE. And we know from their timeline, pieced together, looking at various bits of footage from those that went out on behalf of TFE, that they arrived on the ice on the 14th of December, and they left there on the 16th, maybe the early hours of the 17th. So from the 14th to the 17th, that's when they were on the ice. So we go to the social media pages of the Australian Antarctic Programme, scroll down to their news reports, and we see on the 13th of December there's a report on biodiversity, and then exactly the same thing, nothing on TFE. Then on the 16th of December there's another report on biodiversity, nothing at all on TFE. So now we get to the US Antarctic Programme, where you would think that Will Duffy, being one of their own, a US citizen, that they would be trumpeting Will Duffy's achievements loud and proud, going out to Antarctica to capture the 24-hour sun, but you go to their social media pages on the 6th of December, they report that there's an underground telecoms cable being planned for Antarctica. Then there's nothing until you get to the 24th of December, where there's a discussion on applications for people who want to conduct research into Antarctica. So once again, guys, nothing at all reported by these major Antarctica outlets. And then we come to the hosts of TFE, the Antarctic Logistics Expedition. You know, you'd think that they would be at least having a one-liner on the final experiment, attending Union Glacier, but nothing at all. On the 5th of November, ALE's News reports on some skiing adventure, and then they skip right up to the 27th of January 2025, where they're talking about some results from some skiing competition. I've written to one of the directors of ALE to ask if they can please explain why there's no reporting on the TFE adventure between the 14th and the 17th of December on their social media pages, because it seems really strange. I mean, guys, it is strange, isn't it? Why aren't they reporting on it? So, Will, that's one of the questions that we want to ask you and the TFE crew. Can you please give a rational reason why there is no reporting anywhere on your so-called triumph of capturing the 24-hour sun in Antarctica between the 14th and the 17th of December 2024? So let's now move on to the supposed Starlink outage, when there was apparently a software update between the 14th and the 15th that stopped the TFE crew from transmitting that all-important live transmission of a 24-hour sun. The plan was that they were going to be live, beaming it out across the world, capturing the 24-hour sun without interruption. So here's Mark Herman, first of all, giving his account of why they weren't able to do that.
It was a really, really interesting environment, and I've never been anywhere like it before, but I would absolutely like to go back, and I will absolutely take a whole lot more video than I did. I had no idea that these theories would crop up involving us. And yeah, one last thing is the 24-hour live stream that we attempted down there. There were a couple of factors that happened. So Will brought his own Starlink. He brought this gigantic, it's like a marine, it's like a $2,500 antenna, because you need a special Starlink for Antarctica, apparently. So he set it up at home, he tested it, it worked, didn't leave it powered up for long, and brought it down to Antarctica. Apparently it required a software update, which went at 3 o'clock in the morning, Antarctica time, which was still broad daylight down there. And that took it offline. So you saw that with McToon's live stream. He got kicked off at 3 o'clock. It sucks. He should have done that software update before, but there was really no way of knowing that was going to happen.
And here's Will Duffy's account, giving us roughly the same reasoning.
And then we ran into a couple of issues. The first one was that my cell phone, Murphy's Law, asked to do a software update. And so that cut the live feed. We caught that and got it back up and running again. And then Starlink actually did an update as well. It was funny because the Starlink did an update in the middle of MC Tunes live stream, which was around 3 to 3:30 in the morning here at Union Glacier. And so I'm guessing that Starlink does updates like that at the most, ungodly hour of the night, thinking that that's when people will not be utilizing the internet and sleeping. But we're doing something pretty special and pretty historic here. So that actually cut MC Tunes live stream as well, very abruptly. So anyway, that caused an outage for a long time. And after that, we were not able to get the live stream back up and running on Rumble.
So it wasn't really that difficult to get to the bottom of this and verify whether that was the case. I went online and just typed in Starlink firmware update log, and up came this site called Dishy that keeps a log of every single update. And as we can see, as we scroll down through, we can see there was an update for Starlink on the 12th of December. and nothing until the 16th of December, and the time that they were claiming on the ice that they were booted off because of an update was the 14th and the 15th, and as we can see from the logs, there was no such update ever took place. So Will and the TFE crew, that's another question for you, please. If you can put that one to bed, put our minds at rest, and if you can show us, you can demonstrate to us that there was a firmware update carried out by Starlink between the 14th and the 15th of December 2024. That'd be great, thank you. So we now get to my third question, which is, why did Will pause at a certain time when he was reviewing Jeren's video with me? So let's just play the video and then we'll talk about it.
I pulled up the transcript from YouTube. It's just a button, and it says right here, so yep, the sun will dip down right here. It doesn't go behind that mountain, goes right above it, comes over here, gets back up high in the north.
Go to it, Will, and play it through.
So yep, the sun will dip down right here. It doesn't go behind that mountain, goes right above it, comes over here, gets back up high in the north.
Go to it, Will, and play it through. And guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not getting hung up on synths and sets, seriously, but this just, I thought that this just illustrates the principle that Will paused because even he could see that in that transcript that it said that Jeren had said that it sets. And so for me, if I'd genuinely captured the 24-hour sun, I would have carried on reading and I would have said, that's really weird, we need to get to the bottom of that. Steve, I'll get back to you. You know, something like that. But no. Go to it, Will, and play it through. I don't want to move on until you play this through without buffering.
And then
Steve, Will,
since a lot of people were saying something about this isn't near Union Glacier. Union Glacier is just on the other side of that hill there.
I'm not hearing what you're hearing.
Because it's buffering, Will. Come on. Okay, well, look, then in another video, I'm telling you, Will, the SH1T is going to hit the fan on this because Jeren has said it, and it's very clear to hear. Then in his Christmas Eve special at 1 hour 48, Jeren includes a little clip. Oh, Will's gone now.
I'm trying to increase the bandwidth here.
Will purposely paused and he didn't read any further. And Will, I just want to know why.
Hey, Steve, I just pulled up the transcript from YouTube. It's just a button, and it says right here, so yep, the sun will dip down right here. It doesn't go behind that mountain, goes right above it, comes over here, gets back up high in the north.
Go to it, Will, and play it through. You know, for me, it's quite simple, really. He stopped reading because he knew that Jeren had said the sun sets. He knew he didn't say since, and he knew that by continuing to read it and highlight it, that would be another massive PR blow for TFE that was already starting to crumble.
So yep, the sun will dip down right here. It doesn't go behind that mountain, goes right above it, comes over here, gets back up high in the north.
Go to it, Will, and play it through. It's funny, isn't it, guys? For anyone who's in this arena, we all know that when anybody tries to capture the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, where the sun never sets, they say, the project is always littered with broken glass and controversy and vitriol in the comments section.
If you look at the mounts that were used even during the TFE, they are powered to turn They're not powered to stay stationary, they're powered to turn, which means the sun is moving and not the Earth.
Wow, he doesn't understand relative motion. What a child.
I do understand it. You think I don't. What I just said there,
What a child.
You don't understand what I just
You
said.
don't understand relative. You just made it clear you don't understand relative motion.
No, within your paradigm, they would be powered, but they would only have to stay stationary.
No, not at all. Lies.
Yes, they would.
That's a lie about our paradigm. That's not how it works, Brian. It's not how it works.
All they'd have to be within your power. If your paradigm is real, all a solar mount would have to be is locked into place mechanically and be on a well-oiled swivel. That's all it would have to be.
You're so dumb.
Yeah, well-oiled swivel. That's all.
What an absolute idiot, Brian.
No, it wouldn't have to be
Wow,
powered.
you're so dumb.
Hold on, let's give Brian a chance to respond.
They're actually turning. Yeah.
Still, it doesn't sit stationary in the solar system, Brian. One of the dumbest doesn't understand relative motion. Yeah, you're too stupid to understand relative motion, Brian. You're so dumb. You think that the person on an airplane you don't understand relative motion. You just made it clear you don't understand relative motion.
You know, the excuses that come out, like, well, there wasn't, as Jaron did that brilliant debunk of the Mawson Antarctic 24-hour sun allegedly in 2017 when the shadow skipped for 6 hours, and Jaron wrote to Mawson's and they replied saying, well, they were having bandwidth issues.
Clearly, this shows us, if anything, that trickery is afoot. And this is not just one of the months. This is not just 2 of the months. It's not just 5 of the months. This is every month that they have a webcam video for. They have edited and cut out part of the day. And these are during the main months, which are January, December, and November, the southern summer. In this video, let's watch this green flag down below. You'll see it starting around maybe 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Rotates around to about 2 o'clock and then resets. Rotate around, reset. This is obviously a lie. This is obviously not what's going on. Why don't we get to see the sun do a 360-degree turn around the southern continent? Now remember, this would be pretty good evidence and proof of the globe, because it doesn't work on a flat Earth to see the sun go around the southern continent. However, on a globe, it is something that should be really evident and should be seen in every single summer video from the South Pole. But again, watch the flag. It'll start around 8 o'clock, rotate around until it gets to 2, and then reset and start over. This should be a huge eye-opener. Should be something that screams to you, fraud, fake, set up, contrived. This is not what we would see if the sun went around the southern continent. So I emailed the head of the Australian Antarctic Division there, and she wrote back and basically said that the webcams at their Antarctic stations are subject to very limited internet connections, and frequent interruptions and dropouts are commonplace as the outages due to weather are extreme. Very slow bandwidth means we are unable to have constant streaming video. The time lapses you see on our site are stitched together from photos generated every 15 minutes, and basically saying that there'd be no way that they could have data from a whole entire day. Just taking a look at Mawson Station's current time lapse, for example, the images are being recorded overnight, and nothing appears to be missing. If you do notice anything absent on any of our webcams, please let us know the specifics so we can investigate any potential faults, or even maybe restore images where possible. So I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Why don't you have complete day's videos? You're cutting them yourself. So I wrote back, and she responded with, "Hi Jaron, I've spoken to our web manager, who was not available earlier. He let me know that some frames are actually missing by design. Because the webcams were set up so long ago, he had forgotten about a script he had written to omit frames that are mostly all black to save on space, bandwidth, and overall quality of the video. Chunks of time with just black screens are a bit of a waste." He said that if there is any reasonable light source in the image, then the image would not be omitted, and that the missing frames are based only on the amount of light in the image. Thanks for your email. We will now add this to the FAQ for future webcam visitors. And if you can't tell, this is complete and total horseshit, because what we were just looking at was the summer months when there is no night. supposed to be 24 hours of sun going around. Why are those images omitted? So I said, Jen, I still think you aren't quite understanding what I'm saying. If you have time-lapse webcam footage from the Amundsen Scott base, then why is there no 24-hour sun video? You guys have cut and edited every single video. Why? It makes no sense with your answers below about black screens. Please explain. For example, watch all videos for November, December, January 2011, 2012, 2013. And the most recent email, which came earlier this week, said, Hi, Jaron. The Amundsen Scott Station is an American facility, and for all inquiries regarding their webcam footage, you need to contact them. The information and explanation that Jen provided below still applies to ours. Kind regards, Denise. So I have emailed all the people at the NOAA and the NSF, and we were waiting to see if they've got anything new to say besides just the same nonsense responses.
You know, 2017, 2024, exactly the same. TFE saying that there were software issues, that there was a software update. There's always a reason why they can't capture a 24-hour sun. And there's always loads of fallout. I mean, take this. Here's Will Duffy before going live with me. He spent 20 minutes doing a damage limitation exercise. Just listen to this, guys. 20 minutes. I won't play the full 20, but I'll skip through it. But this is what he had to do.
All right, we are live. Happy Friday, everyone. So glad to see everyone. I think we're going to have a great talk today. And before I bring Steve on, I need to deal with a few issues. And the clothing that they sell, including my new hoodie and including Dave McKeegan's new shirt, is only available there. So short answer is you probably won't be getting one. The long answer is if you really want one, you're going to have to make a trip to Antarctica. So this is just more evidence that we really did go to Antarctica. When I first got in to this whole world of flat earth and globe and all of these debates and finding all of these new YouTube channels I had never heard of, right away, both sides were calling each other liars. It's common. You can't go more than an hour listening to a video from a flat earther or even a glober, and they're calling each other liars. And to make something up that has zero evidence is insane. And so here's a common theme that I've learned by being in this debate. The first one is flat earthers, no idea who, have went and listened to some of my sermons, which I'm happy about, and they've taken something I said out of context in order to make me look bad. Number two, there is a new controversy going around about TFE. There are so many now. There's Vapegate, Breathgate, Dronegate, Footprintgate. And again, all of these, no one asked us anything. No one asked us for more footage. No one asked us for an explanation. They just steal a picture and Photoshop it because that picture, the original, doesn't have the extra mountains here on the right-hand side. So that's step one that they did.
And there's always this sort of flak and broken glass that surrounds alleged 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And yet, guys, let's now watch the 24-hour sun captured in the centre of the Earth, where the ballers would call the North Pole. There's no argument. Let's just watch it. It's 2.5 minutes of beauty and simplicity. We see God's glorious sun circuiting. There's no glitches in the video. There's no bandwidth issues. You know, they just set up a camera simply and just captured it. Just watch it, guys. It's beautiful. And so we all know with the flat Earth model that the 24-hour sun in the centre of the Earth is feasible because the sun moves in ever concentric inward going circles and can be seen for 24 hours above the horizon. And then as it moves out again, there's total darkness for several weeks in the centre of the Earth, and we haven't got a problem with that.
Wow. What a vibrant day, everybody. It's 9 in the morning. And it's polar night, so it looks like this all day long, 24/7, for a bit more than 2 months. Some days, I'm just like, wait a minute, what? I love this though, but it is wild, isn't it? I think it is. I think it is.
It's always the controversy that surrounds the claims that there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And guys, once again, you still haven't proven that there is. And, you know, my prediction is that TFE is soon going to become just another has-been failed attempt at a 24-hour sun. And us flat earthers will have all moved on from it. You know, I think a lot of us are moving on from it already, but I just wanted to get these last few questions out of the way for TFE to answer. So that's been the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and once again I hope you've received my apology. I won't be visiting that place with Craig again in the near future, and I've got more content coming out, and I'd love it if you subscribed, if you liked it and commented, hit the bell, and there'll be some more content coming out very soon. My next one I'm planning is on star trails, because, you know, there's a lot of misinformation out there, but there's actually a very simple explanation why the stars appear to move in one direction down in Australia, or across, should I say, across in Australia, and why they appear to move in a different direction here in the UK, towards the centre of the Earth. And it's a simple, reasonable explanation, and it's about time it was delivered for everyone to be able to comprehend. So that's going to be my next video. So until then, love to all you flatties, love to all you globies. We could be enemies on paper, but I don't think in real life. I'm sure if we met down the pub, we'd probably all get on. Bless you guys.